Hello, everyone, and welcome to Session 0 of Dreams of Arkos, an Ylos homebrew adventure from Dorktales. I'm your Dungeon Master, Kelle. I'm rocking the he and him, and I am very excited to be here, finally, because this game was I think we were supposed to originally launch in March, April? Something like that?
April, something like
sure
that.
April.
Yeah.
It's only 2 months late. But
Yeah,
hey,
you know.
life
Things happened.
finds a way. So hey everybody, welcome. This is Dreams of Arkos, finally has a damn name, and this is our session 0. So today we're going to be meeting the cast. We're going to be talking about this homebrew game, as well as what we're drawing our inspiration from, why we're running it, and any house rules, because I have some new homebrew rules that we're going to be testing in this game for upcoming stuff I'm working on. But today we're also going to do a little bit of world building through discussion, and we're mostly just going to have a pretty chill time and relax. We're also going to use you, the live audience, to determine when our first session is going to be. So this is a pretty casual session. This game is going to be costumed, so nobody here is in costume.
I know, that's just what I look like.
This is what you look like.
This is Millie's weekend, stuff.
I'm in pajamas, like, you know.
That's fair.
Oh, okay.
Right? Millie was given the given the knowledge in advance, but chose to ignore it.
I decided I was gonna wear them.
You know what? You're horny on Maine. It's fine.
Awesome.
It's true.
All right, so folks, without further ado, why don't we go around and well, actually, you know what? Let's stick to a schedule that I have here. What is Dorktales? So for those of you who are new to this, Dorktales is us. We are a Pacific Northwest based, we're totally based, a Pacific Northwest group of gamers originally. Some of us are further away. Millie, you're on another coast. Traz, you're down in Seattle, but we're predominantly a Pacific Northwest Canadian stream of role players, performers, actors, and ne'er-do-wells who get together to play games on the internet and sometimes raise a lot of money for charity. So we are, well, I'm an Aquarius. I don't know about everybody else. We got at least 2 Leos right in the middle. It's been an honor and privilege to do this for about the last going on 5 years this year. We try to be as professional as possible and bring music and costuming to the fore while bringing you high definition video through our fantastic provider ping.gg, which is not sponsored but could be sponsored. Although technically I think they help us. They're like pseudo sponsors. So thanks to Ping for allowing us to use their technology pro bono. Also, a really quick thank you to our actual sponsor for the episode, Bookworm Games. Bookworm Games is a fantastic Vancouver area based dice megalith. Okay, so calling all dragons. Bookworm Games has 168 different types of dice, from acrylic to resin, metal to liquid core, even actual gemstones. Dice bags hold your hoard, and trays will ensure that you're rolling safely. You don't want any Wiimote action with metal dice at your monitor. Okay? Engage all the senses while gaming with candy dice or themed scented candles. Check out their 5 mystery boxes, or even a mystical item monthly subscription for fun surprises every month. 10% off to anyone who uses code Dorktales, and free shipping at $100 or higher. So happy adventuring, folks. Go to bookwormgames.com. Also, starting on June 6th, I'm very happy to announce that they are doing a Kickstarter for their Quest Chests. Quest Chest is an immersive game that engages all of the senses using a fully system-agnostic module with wax-sealed letters, metal coins, candles, actual tea, as well as narrated voiceover and custom music to set the scene at your table. Secrets will hide in plain sight with ciphers and puzzles for your players to decode. The first 2 boxes are available right now if you want to try them out at bookwormgames.com, and there are 5 more coming to Kickstarter on that Kickstarter I mentioned on June 6th. Check it out at questchest.info and back the Quest Chest on Kickstarter. And coming soon enough to Dorktales, we're going to have a chest quest which is going to be a pirate-themed digital version that the folks at Bookworm Games are doing just for us. So
it's pirate themed.
It's pirate themed. I hope that you come and watch that when we do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bookworm Games is honestly a very, very good sponsor, and we are very fortunate to have them here. One moment, please. I gave it to you last night, so it's on your bedside table. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I had a quick question that I needed to answer. So, folks, that is my sponsor spiel. So thank you so much to our sponsors. Also, Bookworm Games is fantastic, and we're going to be using a lot of their dice. Bones Coffee also has a Spider-Man flavored coffee right now. You can use code Dorktales to save on that, unless you're in Canada. Hey, Traz, can I order a bunch of coffee to your place in Seattle?
I mean, sure, but how do you want me to get it to you?
Ain't that the question?
Life,
Trebuchet?
coffee finds a way.
Coffee finds a way across the border.
Maybe
Honestly,
you can come visit again.
Traz, I'm actually not a super far drive away from Seattle.
That's true. Yeah, you're not that
Oh,
far
no.
now.
Are you from me, actually?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so folks, we're going to be getting into this. That's Dorktales. What is Ylos? Ylos is our homebrew world, originally known as Generic Fantasy Setting number 17735, because I smashed a keyboard when I designed it, and that's what came out. So it is a world of magic and mystery. It is a world where some thousands of years ago, the previous pantheon of gods was exterminated, or went into hiding, or vanished off the face of the planet. After an age of darkness and magitech, a new pantheon of gods emerged, having found this errant world, and since then have established somewhat of an order. It's a fairly what's some words to use to describe Ylos? I find it hard to describe my own creation, but like, I don't want to say mundane. It's magical, but it's like fantasy modernism. Like, there are malls, there are like cell phones that are magical, you know, depending on what era you're in. It's
Yeah, I guess fantasy,
Yeah.
modern
Yeah.
fantasy. Modern fantasy could be a term.
Yeah.
You have your own
Yeah.
coffee chain here.
I do have my own
Yeah.
coffee chain. I'm literally wearing the shirt of my coffee chain right now.
Nice.
Yeah, but you have your own coffee chain in every world that you
Damn
build.
straight I have
That's
my own
true.
coffee chain. I used to drink a lot of coffee, which is probably why I have as many problems as I have now, because I was chasing Vyvanse with 7 cups of coffee in grad school.
That's not recommended.
It's not recommended by anyone, let alone me.
No.
So that, and Arkos specifically is a Greco-Roman inspired, with a little splash of Persia, thrown in, kind of island nation that exists. If you are a fan of our shows, the basic map of this hemisphere of the world goes like this. There's the 2 continents, where everything that happens in generic fantasy setting, or Shards of Nirn, occurs. Then if you go south, there's Arkos, which is these 11 islands, 11 big islands that are kind of like right in the middle. And then down here is the country of Emrys, which is where Reign of Emrys takes place. If you go, let's see, facing this way, if you go all the way to the west, basically to where Australia would be, that's where Deianera is, which is where the Secret of Hexeter House takes place. So that's basically just a quick geography lesson. We have maps. I should probably put those on the wiki.
I also linked both our wiki, our Dorktales wiki, and also our generic fantasy wiki on
Nice.
there. So if you click the link, you can find out about Ylos as well.
If you search Dorktales Ylos, that's YLOS, you'll find it on Google immediately. It's pretty handy because I've had to reference the wiki myself a couple times because I've got 5 notebooks thick of notes, and it's just quicker to be like, how do you spell Drosvor again? I need to know where the dwarves come from. We are going to be running in this because I got inspired to run a game of this after playing some Assassin's Creed Odyssey and doing some other stuff like that. Also, I have a degree in Greek and Roman history, so like I figure I might as well use some of it for those couple times I did go to class. So as we are going through, there are two primary books that we are going to be using aside from the player's handbook. Number one, some of us are drawing from Mystic Odysseys of Theros, which is the official 5e kind of Greco-Roman setting that is, it's very Greco, but it is kind of their version of that. More than that, though, we're drawing from a third-party supplement called Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, which is from Modiphius. It is an adventure module that is in their version of a Grecian setting, and the rules are way cooler on many fronts. To give you an example of why you should support third-party creators, this is a little setting book from Wizards of the Coast. That is Mystic Odyssey of Theros. Oh, pardon me, this is Odyssey of the Dragon Lords. And that is an entire adventure on top of, and they cost the same amount of money. So just saying, third-party writer, as a third-party writer myself, always support third-party. All right, so with that, today we're going to be talking about game. We are going to be running every other Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific. And I'm going to ask you right now, so before we get into major introductions, I do want to say that we are trying to figure out what our start date is. So we have two options. We can either start on June 11th, with our second session being on July 2nd, because unfortunately there's a family event right in the middle that needs to be taken care of. Or we can start on July 2nd and then hit the ground running with no breaks. And in fact, we'll do a double tap. We're planning to do a double tap anyway on the 2nd and the 9th. So let's do a quick vote in the chat. And while I'm setting that up, why don't we go around and introduce ourselves, starting with Robin. Tell us who you are, where you've been, and plug yourself, please.
Whoa, I don't know if Twitch TOS will allow that, but
do it.
Sure, I guess. Hi, I'm Robin. I use she, her pronouns. I am second gen gamer in the chat. If we're going with our star signs, I am a Leo, so I am a summer baby. My birthday is in a few short months, and I'm super excited for that. And yeah, I'm second gen gamer, where I sometimes use a Twitch channel, but usually I'm here on Dorktales doing games. But if I am doing stuff, I'm doing usually maybe like Guild Wars with both Paradox Google and Lady Liliana. And yeah, I'm in a new place and a new job, and I'm loving it and loving gaming. And I'm gonna just quickly plug something that's coming up in about less than 6 hours over on our Patreon. So if you join the Dorktales Patreon at $5 a month or higher, you get access to about 1 million games, not exaggerating, that are premier access. So they will run 3 months before they get live broadcast on Twitch. So please come join us tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific for the first game of Panic at the Radiant Citadel, which is my first time running an actual campaign style game. That's not just a crazy charity game running, trying to raise money. So please come support that tonight if you can, and think about joining the Patreon to get that access a little bit earlier. If not, I'll be really excited when it broadcasts live on Twitch again, because I'm just a baby, and it's my first time being a dungeon master, so I'm super excited, and it's gonna be great. And I'm excited for this game too, because I get to play my dream character.
Nice.
Which we'll talk about later. But yeah,
it's
that's
true.
Me.
Over to Amy. Who are you, Amy?
I am Amy. Hello.
Why are you Amy?
I don't know. Probably because of my parents at some point. Yeah. So my pronouns are she, her, they, them. I am a Scorpio of all things, and
the sexiest side.
Which is so goddamn funny.
You play sexy characters sometimes.
I do, but it's definitely an act. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I had to say other than I'm excited for this game. I'm trying to figure out which dice I'm going to use for this character. I might have to get new dice.
Okay.
Wait, I have dice coming.
You do have dice coming. So many
So many
dice.
dice coming.
From Bookworm? No. No more plugs.
No, sadly.
All right,
Next time.
down to the amazing Bunny Hearted.
Oh my goodness, that's me. Hi, my name is Millie. My pronouns are she and her, or they and them. I'm also bunny-hearted. Typically, I'm a doofus, comfy, cozy, retro 90s style trans girl VTuber. Having a lot of fun at building a cozy, comfy, and inclusive and welcoming vibes kind of space. But I'm also a giant dork, and I really love popping on over here to Dorktales and joining all of that stuff. So you can find me at twitch.tv/bunnyhearted, but you should also find me here, like
It's
I
true.
all the time. Also coming up very soon, additionally, for a Patreon game, because I'm running Star Trek.
Lower Dorks is the working
Lower
title.
Dorks. I'm so excited for that.
It's going to be great. I hope we have a good name for the ship. I really like the idea of us being the USS Philadelphia and just being like the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia crew on a ship.
Oh my god.
Yeah, oh, I like that. I
God.
also, for some reason, I'm really stuck with Excelsior.
The
Because I'm
Excelsior.
trying to picture like the captain who we'll discuss in that game, just
Is it-
saying that in a dramatic voice all
Is
the
it just
time.
Stanley?
Excelsior! Can your ship
Oh
please
my God.
be a shape of like a sword?
Excelsior. Can the ship be
No,
what?
unfortunately, that's way too cool for what the ship is doing.
Oh,
It's
because
so
they shape
good.
like a sword. I'm really hoping that every once in a while I can catch that game while I'm at
I hope
work
you can
in, like,
too.
the
It'll be a
quiet
lot of good.
periods.
All right. Do you have anything else that you want to say, Millie?
I don't know. Y'all are cool and good. I'm really
You're-
excited for this.
You're good. All
You're
right.
good.
I'm okay. But you know who's great? The other Kelle.
Oh,
Hi,
you're
Kelle.
good. You put tons of work into this. Be celebrated.
Yay.
Definitely celebrate that. Hi. Good day. I'm I'm Cal from up the road, and she, her pronouns. I am here at Dorktales. I am Cal in the chat, and yeah, I sometimes post on Instagram. Mostly, just random stuff. It's either gardening, knitting, stuff I find at the mall because I work at the mall. And I'm the resident friendly neighborhood criminologist. I'm a criminologist by education, and sometimes that's just kind of fun.
Nice. All right. Last but
That's
not least, modeling some of our merchandise as well, it's Traz.
Oh, what? Oh, hi. Hi, I'm Traz. I'm Trazelta in the chat. I use he, him pronouns. You could usually find me hanging around here, or every Friday I'm hanging out with Precarious, totally not causing a ton of chaos. And I also have dice from Bookworm Games.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Some of the
that's
metal
where
ones.
just chill.
Oh. Nice.
Chill harder.
Shell
That's-
both the shirt and the dice because I just realized what shirt that is.
It's Josephine's
Same.
Concordia style barbecue.
I love it. I love it. I will
Nice.
check this.
Our shirts are cute, man. Like, I'm sorry.
They are. I need to get
Probably.
Darcy's. I need to get Darcy's.
I
Jim.
need to make Darcy's other one. I need to make a lot of them. I need more time. And so Traz, hey, we're gonna go in reverse order, starting with you, and that means that you tell us a little bit about your character, whatever you feel comfortable saying. So class, lineage, race, whatever. Yeah, tell us a little bit about Forn or Fjorn.
All right, So Forn is a reborn human Path of the Ascendant Dragon Monk. Why do I pick classes with really long names?
I don't know, man. It was rough to put that on the call sheet, though. I was like,
Yeah, so Dragon Monk for short. He was a spy before he abruptly died for, I don't know, something happened. Doesn't remember everything.
banana peel.
Knowing my luck, that would probably be it.
He was in
hurt
a
my knee
cart
more times
race
than I care
and
count.
slipped on a banana peel on the Rainbow Bridge.
Oh gosh, which one? Some of those are awful. Especially the Super Nintendo one. That one was really bad to drive in.
So he was a spy, and then he ended up in Kunlun.
And he's currently, where did I say he's currently at for Arkos? I have it here somewhere.
The Kunlun thing is a
But
joke.
I have,
just
yeah,
saying
I
that.
have him originally from Emery's,
Okay.
and he's currently in Okoka, I think was.
Okay. So Akoka being the Afrofuturist spiritualist area, kind of over to the east. Okay. Anything else about him? Is he a nice guy? Does he have a nice smile
for the most
underneath that
part.
mask?
Possibly, if I can do it, I kind of want to have be scarred under the mask, but I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off myself. But we'll see.
Fair.
Because I get a breath weapon as a dragon monk.
This is true. Do you just want to play Scorpion?
I could.
Finish
I can
him.
do fire. I can do fire, ice, thunder, lightning, and poison.
You can't do acid though.
Can't do acid, so I can't be reptile.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so your final enemy in this campaign is going to be Noob Sabat. Got ya.
Cool.
The Noob Sabat. All right, anything else you want to say about him, or should we pass over to Cal?
No, I think we can pass it over.
All right, Cal, you're up.
Oh, thanks. So I am, let me grab my sheet here. It's sitting here. I am playing Mystredo. She is a druid. She is a Medusa. So she has happy little snakes in her hair. They stay kind of under the hood, but there's, they like to whisper, sweet nothings into her ears, and it's always going to be interesting. And I'm just looking forward to playing something kind of really different. I'm hoping to branch this out a little bit in a different direction and just see what direction I can take her. So I'm hoping I was asked to go and do something that I haven't done before and be a little bit more mysterious and a little bit more of a sexy character. So I'm going to try that. So we'll see how it goes. Fake it till you make it. So we'll give it a shot. But yeah, she seems like a very interesting individual from how I've rolled her up and decided that she is gonna be. So yeah, she's got lots of stuff. She's got lots of skills, and it's stuff that I've never used before. So this is definitely outside of my comfort zone a little bit, but that's good.
Fair.
I like it.
Yeah, 'cause she's gonna be your sexy character.
Yes. But I have to admit, there is going to be one slightly goofy snake. Just one.
At the back.
But we don't listen to him because he has the bad ideas.
So we're totally going to listen to him.
Sorry?
And you're totally going to listen to him, yeah, probably. So the chat is asking whether or not you can turn people to stone, and we are using the Thylian Medusa race out of Odyssey of the Dragonlords, which means that at 5th level you can paralyze people.
So, not yet.
And
coming soon.
Your hair is a weapon.
Yeah.
Which is pretty rad.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So
I'm interested to see how this goes. And you're playing a circle from this book as well, the Circle of Sacrifice, right?
Yep.
So there's a lot of stuff out of here.
This is all new. Yeah, it's all new stuff for me. So I'm very, very excited to see what she's gonna do.
I'm pretty stoked about it. Millie, tell us about your character.
Sure. Well, Tyria is a cow. She likes to munch on grass, vibe in fields. No, she's a giant minotaur, but I totally can turn into cows at level 5 because you get to turn people into stone. I see red and literally turn into a bull, and it's like I just have a curse. You get all of this cool stuff, and I just get just turn into like a regular cow. That is beautiful, and I am here for it. I know we're talking a little bit about world coming up soon, but I think somewhat fortunately or unfortunately, Tyria's sort of concept is tied to some world setting stuff. For she is from a city of steam and steel called Karasis, which is sort of this complicated myriad of labyrinths on top of labyrinths, and a bunch of terrifying steamwork horrors and minotaurs that protect them. But, economies shift and all of that stuff. She's out here with wide eyes, excited to explore the surface world and sends money back to her family. Yeah, I'm really excited to play this character because she's a chonky beast with a real soft heart. And I feel like I've played a couple of games here where I've been sort of like a sort of cagey, a little bit nervous kind of character, or someone who's at least pretending to be cagey and a little bit nervous in the last one. And I'm really excited to be a lumbering behemoth who is clueless but full of love.
I think that's going to be fantastic. And you're also using the Minotaur traits out of Odyssey of the Dragonlords, which are way better. They're just way nicer.
Oh no, I totally took the Odyssey ones. We could switch.
Did you take Dragon Lords or Theros?
I did the ones from the Odyssey guide, the Tylians.
Yeah, those. Not the D&D core. You're doing the third party ones.
Yeah, not the D&D core. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're doing those guys. So you're colorblind. So
yep, I can only see grays and mysteriously reds for some reason. I hate those things.
I love it.
I think it's really funny to have dark vision that just like in no way impacts your ability to see. She just assumes everyone else can see in the dark too. It's like, I see the world only in muted grayscale. You mean you see the world? What is color?
It's a good way to live life.
The accursed red.
The accursed red, yeah.
Minotaurs are hilarious in this. I love that she can apparently smell things 6 miles away with her big old snooter.
Wait, I didn't read that. Holy crap, really?
Yeah, keen snout. Yeah, it's wild.
That is ridiculous.
Specific things, of course, and like has advantage on like pattern solving versus mazes.
It's just gonna be you and a Rubik's Cube. That's the game.
Cute. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it. And also, I think it's the most ridiculous thing to have. Like, your cool ability at level 5 is that sometimes you might inconveniently turn into just a regular cow.
I mean,
it's not bad. You're a bull. You got like an armor class of 11. Like,
well, but the thing is that if it works as per the rules of polymorph, so it's extra hit points at least.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. It's like
it's the dire bull at level 9.
The dire bull is when it gets cool. Yeah, that's right.
Then you're just a big bull. Oh, you're the same size. What the hell's the difference between are you not huge size?
You get what? You get an additional 10 hit points.
And your armor class goes up by 1.
Class.
Yeah.
It's 12 instead of 11.
And you get relentless.
You get relentless. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's pretty good. Your damage goes up slightly. Okay. That's, they're good things. Let's go say hi to Amy.
Moo noises.
Moo.
Amazing. So I'm playing a human.
I should have finished with you.
Sorry. I'm playing oh god, how was I gonna pronounce it? Gwylan Halenan, a human sorcerer. There's some backstory stuff that'll be fun for flavor, but mechanically, she's a human, and she's a bit of a smuggler / the, kind of the Han Solo type is what I'm going for. I'm probably not going to actually succeed at that, but sorcerer with the I believe I was going from the Odyssey of the Dragon Lords.
Mm-hmm. You were going with
because it's the sorcerer archetype.
The demigod.
Yeah, that'll be pretty good. And very, very, very strongly considering multi-classing into rogue. That is currently part of the plan. I'm just not sure what order these things are going to happen in yet.
Nice. All right, and last but not least, I'm trying to think of a great pun, and I'm having trouble with it. I guess it just behooves me to let Robin go.
Oh, but bum. Well, you know what they say? They say don't look a gift horse in the mouth. But yes.
Break a leg, Robin.
No, I don't want to put myself down.
All right. So Robin, tell us about your character.
So I am playing Deianera. I think that's how I'm going to pronounce it. Deianera.
I think I pronounce it Dia in my head.
Deianera? Yeah, let's go Deianera. Then it's Dia. Anyways. Who is a centaur ranger. So I also went with the Odyssey of the Dragon Lords class, and I definitely initially went to just kind of talked a little bit, because it seems like the centaur doesn't get cool stuff compared to the Medusa and the the Minotaur because they don't get anything at level 5. I just get to carry people.
Yeah, you get to be a vehicle. That's not really that's the one thing where it kind of falls a tiny bit short.
No,
Yeah.
the thing is that you'll be carrying the plot.
Yeah. So that was one thing I wanted to potentially talk about with my character. Otherwise, I really fucking love it because I'm a horse girl, so I get to be a literal horse girl. And I have chosen the Amazonian Conclave subclass for Ranger. That's also in the book, which is really cool because I get a metal burb companion. I forget what
It's
exactly.
literally just Assassin's Creed.
It is. It is literally Assassin's Creed, which I was playing and why I got this inspiration. So I get a metal burb, which I think I chose as a hawk as my companion. That I can use to get a better vision. It's literally Assassin's Creed. I get eagle vision. It can report back to me. But she grew up on the Isle of Tistame, which is a trade-focused set of groups of islands. She is a member of her tribe there, so I took the Uthgard tribe background for her. And so she is part of a centaur tribe, and she is kind of supposed to be the next up-and-coming leader of her tribe, but she doesn't really want to do that quite yet. She is very much a little bit of like Wonder Woman mixed in with her. I do get bracers that are magical later on. It's pretty great. So it's like a mix of Wonder Woman and Assassin's Creed, and I'm just very excited to be her. She has a bit of a rivalry with another island tribe of centaurs, and she's trying to do that whole balance of I'm supposed to lead, but I don't want to yet. I'm destined to be kind of important, and she doesn't necessarily want to do that yet because she wants to explore and like travel to the Feywild and shit. But she is I'm pretty excited for her, and I'm excited to try out Ranger. So this is pretty exciting. She knows a ton of languages, which is great.
So we can work on customizing her build a little bit. There are some things in the Theros book that are a slightly more balanced version.
Okay.
And so like, for example, you have the downside that climbing or maneuvering in tight spaces is considered difficult terrain. That makes sense.
Yep.
That said, I had some people ask in a chat whether or not I was going to make being on a boat like make you constantly do checks to see if you fall over. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun to do to a player, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming
one time,
yes.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like horseshoes are going to be designed by these centaurs to go across islands and do things, like that. It just, I'm not going to have a bunch of things in game that are going to make players feel like their choices were bad,
I mean, horses like are in trailers and shit and boats. Like horses get transported in airplanes to places. Like they're pretty stable. Like, and I'm a ranger, so I'm used to like running and shooting. What?
Stable.
Well,
I'll be done with this soon.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's you're right, and I get for the Amazon thing, I get to enter a battle cry, which is absolutely amazing. Are
you practicing your ovulations? Okay, good. We need some Xena.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly.
So folks, like I said, so it looks like checking the results of the poll that we did, y'all, I think everybody voted except for like the vast majority said that we should just wait till July and just hit the ground running. So we're going to start on July 2nd. We're going to be running on Sundays starting at noon, and then YouTube will be up within a week, usually within a couple of days, if life doesn't get in the way. And then podcast will start uploading. The podcast version will go up starting in August. Just to let there be a little bit of a backlog for me. And plus, it does require a little more finessing to kind of get that done. So that'll be starting in early July. Now, I'm sorry, Chandra. There will be. I appreciate that though. There will be plenty happening in June though. Star Trek's coming. And Onyx PathCon, which we'll tell you about in a little bit. So, folks, you are all traveling. You basically, what has occurred that is bringing you all together is you all have been invited to a party. Now, who are you that you are invited to a party? You are all visiting the home of King Manos. King Manos is the ruler of the island. The island of Serpentistane. I actually didn't choose the island. That's good to know. So you are united by a call to attend a party on behalf of King Manos. Now, why you? Because in the Isles of Arkos, there is a bit of a system where you, the people of Arkos believe in the fates. They believe in the kindly ones, these tripartite beings that rule the land and control destiny. And rulers or people of high political power can beseech the fates through their oracles for luck, basically, for fortuitous guests. And it was shown, drawn from there, that for this party, for this event to be a success, your names were drawn. You are all being summoned for this, and will be paid for your attendance. You're being paid 100 gold each, plus your travel, to just be at a party and be treated as honored guests. This is a fantastic way. Basically, it's like an endorsement deal. It's a great way to
So
meet
we're the
people.
Kardashians?
Kind of.
Sorry.
Yeah, if you're keeping up. The Kardashians are old news, man. Now it's the family Stallone.
What?
Yeah,
As
Stallone
in-
has a reality show now.
Good God. This is what happens when you have a writer's strike. There's nothing good on TV anywhere. It's going to be all reality TV. That's why you should watch Dorktales.
This is why you should watch Dorktales. And hit the Patreon. So you are all being summoned to this party, and will be traveling there on the same boat, because the fates have willed it such. Generally, it is assumed that you can rebel against these fates once your name has been drawn and you have your missives delivered, but it is unlucky to do so. And many who have spent time in Arkos find that it is not worth the trouble to go against the fates, although you most certainly can. That is why you were traveling together. So let's talk a little bit before we actually start into world building here, about tone, themes, and content. So I'm expecting this game to be somewhere in the PG-13 to rated R level, violence akin to, I don't know, 300. Like it's going to be somewhere between Hercules and 300. You know, lots of flexing, lots of like, blah, 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 you know, like big, like grisly fights, but I'm not going to go into super minute details about certain types of damage. Use of language, we're a mature channel, so like, you know, obviously any language you want to use is fine.
Fucking hell.
Fucking hell. Just my suggestion
Holy
is
bananas.
anything that doesn't
Jinkies.
target a group of people is fine. You know, if I don't hear a little bit of Malacca coming out of you, I'll be very upset. Malacca. It's literally the
Yeah, we should learn some Greek swear words.
right. You can say bum. Bongmaster in the chat has said you can say bum, so you can.
Bum.
Bum.
Thank you
All
for
right.
the permission, Bongo.
So this is going to have themes of war, struggle, as well as personal horror and trauma. So be prepared for that. I am open to most descriptions of violence. Romance and sex are a part of the real world, and if your character wishes to pursue these things, you may have them. We're not going to roleplay them. We're going to do a cut to black on the sexual
Lots
part.
of mounting going on over here.
Nay.
How long have you hold on to that one?
for a long
Oh.
time.
Yeah.
She had it since she decided she was going to be a centaur.
There's a
That's
joke
true.
here
Yeah.
about taking a roll in the hay.
There definitely is, because Robin's
Mhm.
horny on Maine.
No,
Ours is
Millie's got the horns.
Yeah,
But
That's-
on Maine.
I know.
On Maine.
I'm
They're
the
different
Maine.
I
Maines.
can't believe you managed to make that joke work twice in two
Yeah.
different ways.
For two people.
Well, I mean, at least
It's a
she's
twofer.
not forny. Traz is forny. Anyway, so folks, we're gonna be doing that. So anyway, if you want romance, you want sexuality to happen in game, that is totally fine by me. It's going to be this game is going to change a lot as we go, and I've already told you guys in advance that the Feywild will be involved eventually, as well as some weirder stuff. So be ready for some wild bullshit. That said, does anybody have any public lines or veils that they would like to state? That you would like me to avoid? Traz.
At my usual, cruelty to pets.
Cruelty to pets. Okay.
Bugs under skin.
Mhm.
Okay. Bugs under skin.
Spiders and eyeballs.
Spiders.
Although eyeballs can be plucked out, I don't want things going into the eyeballs.
Mm.
I know it's weird. I
No,
don't.
no,
get
no.
it
I
either.
totally get that. I am
good.
I'm exactly the same.
No,
It's
this,
like I
no,
can't.
quick question about spiders. Any type of spider, like. So here, you tell me when the
mostly-
spider's okay. Ready?
Okay. It's mostly about the spider being on or in or just like crawling on my character. It's
Okay.
Same.
If it's on other characters, fine. If it's
Okay.
on my character, I might need a moment to just kind of like, and then settle down.
Mhm.
Ditto.
Okay.
Ditto.
Cool. Nice. That makes sense.
Let's try this as kind of exposure therapy. How about that? I'll just put that
Dog-sized
out there
spiders are
right
fine.
now. I'll just say not fine, but I'm willing to see how much I can handle.
Sounds good. Millie.
Okay.
I mean, I guess standard ones for me. I'm not super stoked on kids being harmed. Words are hard today, apparently. And then also the, like my characters having blood drawn through a needle, that specific thing,
Okay.
or inserted. Any blood needle things.
Okay. I don't think that we'll have much problem with that in a Greco-Roman setting, so that should be pretty
Sort of
easy to
figured,
avoid.
but
Yep.
just in case.
And if I ever, Amy.
Oh, just kind of following up with the bugs under skin because the mummy traumatized me as a child.
It's
but
so many
also-
people.
But also like maggots, anything wriggly like that, just keep those away from flesh. Like don't, at least not living. And if it's being described for like oh there's a dead body there and it's got maggots, just please try and stop at that and don't go into like how
Okay.
much they're wriggling.
Just
Alright.
the evidence of insect activity.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's usually how I
Um,
put it.
It
Alright,
hasn't
cool.
come up so far really, but I just figured.
Yeah,
And then,
I would.
fingernails.
Yeah, fingernail stuff bugs me, to be honest. So
Yeah.
that's one of my squeakies. Okay,
and
cool.
breaking and bones breaking, like being very very graphically described.
See, and that's one of the things I don't think that I've had a conversation very recently. I think Robin and I had a conversation about this, about the power of not describing something in gratuity. Which is how we get away with some of the things that we do in our Mage the Ascension Victorian Age game, is we don't describe things as they're happening. We just say, this is happening. Here are a couple of details. Fill in the gaps, because it is very disturbing if you do. But I don't have to say it, because then it's gratuitous.
Yeah.
That is
Exactly.
my...
People's imaginations are far more weirder, bent, creepy, disturbing than we can actually make it out to be in real life.
And if you're not a person who would fill in those gaps because you wouldn't want them filled in, then they're not filled in, which is just, it's a beautiful little, it gives a little bit more control to the audience. So I think that's a little more beneficial as a writer, at least. So that sounds good to me. I'm good with all of these. As always, we have a safety system here on Dorktales. We have a private chat. And if you are, if there's something that I'm doing that is starting to bug you, or if you need to just kind of like switch a scene or something, spam X in the chat on at least 2 different lines. so that it's obviously not just a typo. If I don't acknowledge that, somebody within the next like 30 seconds or so, just say, hey, Kelly, check the chat. Interrupt me in the middle of what I'm doing. Like, it's fine. It does not have to be the person that put it there. I'd prefer it not be the person that put it there, but because then I don't need anybody who is watching this to know who had a problem with the scene. That's nobody's business except for mine and the person who had the problem. Not that it's a problem. You get what I mean. You get what I'm saying. So that is how we're going to do that. I don't expect there's going to be too much. I asked you for some trauma. So if you provided it in your character write-ups here, I'm going to traumatize you with it. So if you provided something that you deliberately don't want to experience, why? Let me know and we'll take it back. Okay. All right, cool. So that is what I have there. So as we are going further, if there's any other lines or veils, please let me know later. I know that you included some of them in your surveys as well. All right, so let us talk about some house rules, because this is the fun part. So we'll do house rules and world building. So house rules, we use a lot of house rules inside of Dorktales for our home games. We try to keep our modules pretty vanilla, but we have a couple that we are going to bring up. So first of all, if you are watching this and you say, hey, Kelly, you got this rule wrong. Yeah, I did, but it might be a choice that I made. I defer to the rule of DM caveat, rule of cool, and that if something is awesome and it makes the story better, I would rather do that than check the rules tons. If it is an egregious error, or a simple like, I sometimes mix up the rules for uncanny dodge and evasion because I'm pretty sure they used to be the same in a previous edition. Or those two always kind of swap in my head, and I know that happens sometimes. So you're welcome to leave a correction in the comments of a YouTube video. Please don't, unless I ask for it, put it in the chat, because I do monitor the chat and it might distract me. And I have a lot of plates spinning live.
Also, it distracts the players too. If we're learning new rules, sometimes it brings up a little bit of performance anxiety for us, because we make mistakes. It's all in the heat of the moment, and we're not generally trying to cheat. If we will ask for rules clarifications if we want it. Kind of, that's the thing.
It is true. And for those who might be watching this and will say, well, yeah, but it's not a big deal to remember rules. Well, it is a big deal to remember rules when you have a camera on you. It does make things a bit more difficult. And before anybody says, well, then you shouldn't put these games online. Well, but then you wouldn't be watching, and you want to watch it, theoretically. So, like, let's find a happy middle ground. Mistakes will happen. We're going to be happy about it. Okay. That said, we're going to use real dice. We're not going to use a dice cam because I don't want to have to pay an additional $100 to outfit you each with a camera just to assume that you are lying to me about your dice rolls. Right? Because that's what it says. We're on an honor system here. We're all friends, and we're not going to use digital dice because we have a dice sponsorship, and that would be stupid. Also, real dice are more fun.
Yeah, there's nothing more satisfying than getting a bunch of dice in your hand and going click, 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 click.
Also,
Exactly.
digital rollers hate me.
Yep, they hate me too.
Across the
Except
board,
for
they
Google Dice
hate
Roller.
me.
Google Dice Roller loves me.
And
But only Google.
And it's more fun to find, the perfect dice to go with your character, because now I'm like, do I have any green dice?
I realize I don't have any dice for D. Also, Traz and I realized that both of our characters are wearing red around Millie's character, so that's going to be fun.
I mean, not for
Just
two
don't
levels.
wave it at her.
Not for
Yeah,
two
at
levels,
level
yeah.
5, we're gonna get
We're
chased.
fucked.
Here, we don't know.
Hey, I
why.
can run at least. Do I have a
We'll
I
have
think
that one long rest to level up. We'll start the
I
next
only
game
have
with
40
an unexpected
foot
combat
speed
versus
movement as a
cow.
centaur.
Okay.
I should be a horse.
I think,
All right.
I
So
think you and me are about the same, so we're gonna be running.
Nay.
So it's all good. Okay. So inspiration. This is a home game. This is a game where you are all going to start each game with a point of inspiration. That said, the chat also has the ability to purchase things using channel points. So there is an additional thing called determination. Bing! When the D is on the screen on a character, it means that you have a point of determination. Determination is an addition of your proficiency bonus. You can add your proficiency bonus again to any roll, even if you're already proficient in something. That is anything that a proficiency bonus can be added to, such as an ability check, a saving throw, or an attack roll. Okay. There's a limit to the number of times the chat can buy this. The chat may also buy Hurt the Moors. Something good happens, and Drama Bombs. Drama Bombs was where I turn up the heat in the scene a little bit. Situational things that kind of make it worse for everybody. Hurt the Moors allow me to cheat. I can take additional attacks. I can give you disadvantage. I can take advantage on things. I can reroll attacks. I can activate abilities that have not recharged. It is a great way to do it. And I really enjoy it because it makes 5e a little more challenging. Something good happens allow me to bend the rules in your favor. Now, we also have an additional mechanic because this is a home game called The Offer. The Offer is a coin that goes on the table. When the coin is face up, any player can ask for something, such as Amy has a good example. Amy, you were trying to do something in Reign of Emeries, but a character, you had to move a certain distance to do a melee attack, but the person was 10 feet beyond that.
Yeah.
And so you said, I can't reach them. I'm like, well, tell you what, I'll make you an offer. You have an adrenaline surge, you'll make it that extra 10 feet, but then I get to bend the rules before that coin gets flipped again.
Fights.
And
Yeah.
my bends are always bigger than yours because there's 5 of you. Okay? So it's a nice little give and take to make sure the rules are never too concrete and that we always have a little bit of uncertainty in combat and in just drama in general. Okay. So those are our big basic rules that we always do, aside from one last one, which is nat 20s are always hits. They are not always saving throw. They are not always ability checks. So a 20 on an ability check is not an auto win. However, a nat 1 is always a botch because it's more fun. And we all agree on this. Also, you can save with a nat 20 and take no damage. So you can get a critical roll on a saving throw in our games, and you can botch a saving throw. It basically gives you resistance or immunity, I suppose, in the case of a half save, or vulnerability to the damage source if it is a damaging effect. Jen found that very fun in our last episode of Dragonlance, where she botched a fireball save and ended up taking 54 points of damage on a 6th level character. She survived. But, yep, there you go, Jen. Jen just said so in the chat. I think it's a lot of fun because there's something really cool about, like, walking out of a fireball unsinged. And the other thing about this is that if you can botch saves, I can botch saves.
Yeah, it's the best when he does it because he ends up rolling it more than we do.
Yep. Okay. So, now let's talk about some new rules. Previously, we used death saving throws as the follows. When you were knocked into death saves, you would, on your turn, normally you don't roll anything, or you roll your death save and that's it. So first off, I roll your death saves for you, because then you never know if you're about to die, and neither do the other players. It makes everything more dramatic. However, I also would ask that on your turn, you give me a memory of why you're fighting to stay alive. Give me a reason, and it gives you a chance to role play in the middle of the scene. And if you give me a good enough reason, I'll give you advantage on your death save. If you don't give me a reason, you have nothing to live for, I give you disadvantage on your death save. I like that rule. Yes, Traz.
Okay, so being reborn, I have advantage on death saves in general. So would it be so how would that work in my case?
You would roll flat if you didn't have a reason to live. Okay. Or I would roll flat. Like it would just use the normal rule of advantage disadvantage, where it would go bump one step. But just give me like, oh, I have to return a library book, and boom, you have advantage. Right?
Cool. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay. However, in the meanwhile, we have been watching all sorts of videos and we've been looking at all sorts of different things. And one of the things that has been constantly complained about by XP to level 3 and by Ginny D have been that when you're out of combat, it's really boring. So one of the alternative rules is that if you are dropped to 0 hit points, you are not necessarily out of the fight, and may still continue to move at half speed and provide the help action to other people at the expense of a failed death save. I'm okay with this. It means that you fail that round. And it also...
Yeah. Does that mean you're not also rolling the death save?
No, you automatically fail that round.
Yes, but I'm saying you're not going to gain 2 death saves in a roll.
Well, what happens if Tyria is in the middle of a combat with a fire giant, and Deianera is knocked to 0 hit points and kind of struggles forward to kind of like shoulder that, and the fire giant hits you? It's an automatic critical hit, and you will die.
Yeah.
Because you failed the death save and you took a hit.
Yeah, no. I'm wondering because mechanically, a death save happens at the beginning of your turn. So at the beginning of the turn, you technically have to roll the death save, and then we can take the option to help. So it's not rolling 2.
It will not be rolling. You would at the beginning of your turn, it would be, you're like, I'm going to do something. It's like, all right, you auto fail. So the fail is the entry to the action.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's what I'm asking, because like mechanically you could get super fucked, and then that's when I as a player, not the rest of my party, I would want to know my successes and failures of how much I'm willing to give, because so that'd be something where it's like, okay, now you need to PM us our successes and failures. If that was happening. So that's what I was clarifying, because I'm like, oh, if you roll and you roll like a nat 1, and then I decide not knowing that, I do my action, then I just straight up die. I probably would know myself as a character if I was really not working to then like just make that decision if I'm going to give my life, kind of thing. But if that's not what happens, then that's cool. That's what I just wanted to clarify, because technically you roll your death save at the beginning of your turn.
So this is one option that this is what we would do in that case. No 324 in the chat says, so the rule is choose between rolling and between automatically failing in return for half mood plus help. I think that's pretty much it. The help action,
that's good. That's good.
So it's a help or an object to interact. So if you do have like a potion, theoretically, you could go potentially. So that could work as well. So other things that we're going to be doing, we're going to be using critical hits were another thing that were really big on some of the videos we were watching, and critical hits are a little lackluster in 5e. A lot of us started playing with 5th ed, but a lot of us played in like 3rd ed or Pathfinder, where criticals are 3 times, and oh boy, that's nice. So there is an optional rule that I really like that we're going to use, and that is inspirational crits. And the way that works is if you get a critical hit, I roll a d4, or you roll the d4, and that many ticks around our screen, that person gets inspiration. Because you did something badass and you're on their side. That inspiration has to be used inside of the combat or immediately following, or else it just kind of vanishes, because it's an adrenaline boost.
And you can you can say, hey, Kelle, I want to use that inspiration on my death save, right?
Sure. You can use it on any roll.
Cool.
So that said, the enemies can get it too. So if that goblin gets a nat 20 on you, its friend will also get that bonus. Okay. So because this is a Greco-Roman setting, I did want to suggest a couple of additional rules. Number 1 is the rule that I kind of have been playing around with, which is destined roles. You are destined to become heroes. You are also destined to suffer great tragedy, because you are, this is Greek inspired, guys. You guys follow me on this. So I came up with this rule where a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You may choose to call a roll a destined roll. The roll automatically succeeds. It is an automatic critical hit with a very potent advantage. Such as, basically it's like a stunt. You call a shot. I cut off 2 of the Hydra's heads. It is an epic roll. You automatically will do it or we can make it you automatically do it if you hit. And it is awesome. However, this triggers a doom. The next time I roll a critical hit on you, something changes about your character. Maybe you lose an eye. Maybe something else happens. Maybe you accidentally sire a son that will destroy you one day. Who knows?
Quick question.
Yeah.
Could we potentially provide you a list of things that would be like a hard, we don't want this happening to our character?
Sure.
Because I know there's like a couple things that I would probably not want to see happen to my character.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I guess one potential option too is that it doesn't have to be Kelle choosing what happens to us, right? Like if it's just that something changes about our character, like we can decide it together.
Oh, that's true.
I think,
yeah,
because it will probably make sense depending on the context of what's happening. If it like it could be, because I mean I'm paralleling this to Apocalypse World stuff, right? Where you're doing a hard move. So it could be something that is like specific to an individual character in that sort of way, where Traz is losing a leg inevitably, as is tradition, or it could be something that you want to keep secret. So I think that feels like something to discuss in the moment, to have the, okay, something is happening. Is it happening now? Is it happening later? And then if it's happening later, it could be discussed to figure out what it is, or if it's happening now, could figure out some options right there together. You don't need all those limbs, Traz. Sorry.
Yeah.
The other
that in our group chat.
Right. So the other thing about doomed crits, just so you all are aware, I can also say that it's on botches that it happens. So it's basically when you trigger your doom, when you have doom coming, it will come to you one way or another. This could be through your failure or the action of another player or another character.
So I kind of like it. I know that this sucks for Amy, but I kind of like the idea of it being on a nat one, because then it is my fault.
I would like to say that it's from either.
Okay, for either. So whatever comes first, basically.
Whichever comes first. So let's leave it up to the fates.
Okay. That's cool.
Okay. Amy's going to harm herself. Yeah, totally. So alternatively, I would also say that if you have a doomed crit coming your way, Silvery Barbs doesn't stop the crit.
My luck is so bad.
Because it's
any
literal.
of us have Silvery Barbs?
Think so, but the chat seemed very worried about it just now. Whatever fate decides to screw. How is to screw you not
I don't know. I looked at it. I'm
approved?
like, out of all the things we've say in the chat, that's the one that flies.
That's to screw me? No, screw me harder.
Okay,
okay.
chat. Okay, Automod, chill.
Okay, so besides that, what other alternative rules did we have? So those are the destined rolls. On the destined rolls, do you want that to be just advantage? Do you want that? Should a destined roll be narrative control on a hit, or should it just be you take So why don't we say that on any successful roll, you can choose to call it a destined success?
I was about to suggest even a little bit beyond that, on a crit.
On a crit?
If the balance is a crit against you, or potentially on a botch, then on a crit, being able to call it like a super crit, your destined roll. Like that definitely adds some randomness to it, which might not be ideal if we wanted it to be just something that we're choosing.
Because there was also the rules for. Oh, sorry, Traz, go.
So Traz, then Rob.
I was saying. So yeah, if we're choosing to do it and we have Doom, we say if it's a crit and we use it, maybe the Doom doesn't happen because you crit anyway.
I don't know. I feel like there should always be a dark side.
There should always be a dark side.
Yeah.
Think of Odysseus. Like Odysseus, like these are pretty big bad things that happen. What about it's on a crit, and you can also call it on any roll you have advantage. Then the less lucky players can call it in.
Yeah, that's true. So, and what I maybe potentially suggest for if you're going to do a destined roll, so there's a couple, again, on the same, I'm pretty sure it's the same video from Ginny D, who I love them and would love to have them on a game. Is that with like talking about damage dice, is that you automatically gain max dice on your first one, and then for the doubling damage, you roll that again. So you're always guaranteed a max. Like, so let's say if you have a greatsword and it's 2d6, you automatically get 12, and then you roll the other half. So you roll the 2d6 again for your crit, and you get that damage. So you already start with like one max, and then so that could be the difference of a destined damage or destined roll, is that for the crit, you already start off with half of your attack being fully at power. So then
I was just gonna say a destined roll does max.
Oh, okay, sure.
A destined roll is literally like super narrative control power.
Okay, cool. I like that idea. Cool. That's great.
Here's the other thing. You don't have to do a destined roll if you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
On level 20, you will have the option to have done it 6 times, because you can only do once per proficiency ever.
Once per proficiency ever?
Bonus. So
Yeah,
you
so we're mostly starting with 2.
At level 1, you have a proficiency bonus of +2. That means you can do it twice ever.
Oh, and then when you level up to 5, then you only get 1 more added on top.
Yeah, that's why this is why it is such a rare thing, and why I'm like, oh, this is a big doom.
Right,
this is a big doom.
Okay,
this is not every point.
I thought it was like a proficiency bonus. Like every time you gain a new proficiency, it resets to 0.
No.
Okay.
You gain 1 use every 4 levels because this is a big deal.
Yeah.
And I totally missed that part too, in which case I don't think it makes sense for it to only be on crits. I think it should just be a choice then.
Yeah,
if you only have like 2 ever to start, we're unlikely to get more than maybe 1 more than that. I think it should be something that we choose.
I think that's a good idea.
It's because the doom is going to be particularly harsh. Like you might lose some stat points, you might lose hit points.
Yeah.
Like, so it is a trade-off. You are buying a special cool moment. So
yeah, like if you're deciding, we need to beat this boss, I need to hit this boss because everyone is like almost dead, and I need to hit this person. I'm gonna call on my crit kind of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's good to be a choice.
On a destined, do you still have to hit? I
don't think so, because you're calling upon the gods. I think you're being like, nope, I'm gonna make this. I am asking the fates to bend this in my favor. So they're gonna come for me, but I'm asking.
We'll say that you still roll, but you can turn a failure into a success.
It's like it's like praying to the devil to let you do something. It's like, okay, but it's gonna cost you.
Nah, just a Vela. Vela.
Vela. Yes. Okay.
Vela, help my ass. Okay. So alternative, other things that we talked about, some additional rules. I am devising some rules that can be used with hit dice. And these are ones, I'm not sure if we want to use them in this, but basically to make hit dice more useful, hit dice would be able to be spent to perform additional actions, do additional stuff. This is a system that I've been working with. I worked with a little bit with Chris Blog with this a while ago, and it would do things like allow you to upcast spells or regenerate spells or take additional actions. Is this something we want to play with, or do we want to just kind of go, we got enough stuff going on right now?
I'm a little torn because I'm really curious about it. But I also
curious.
feel like it doesn't feel like it fits narratively in the same way with like the epic decisions for like the author or for the the destined role kind of thing. Okay.
So the
I
basic...
also like making hit dice more interesting economically.
Right.
Yeah.
Without having to do 1,000 combats.
The idea is that hit dice, you could spend hit dice to upcast spells, or by spending an action, you could regenerate a spell of the level of hit dice spent.
I mean, that doesn't sound unbalanced, really. Like you're going to impact your ability to heal in a short rest, right? So.
Yep. And if you are a non-caster, anybody, but if you're a non-caster in particular, you can make an additional attack with advantage per hit dice.
Oh, so you make like
that one feels like maybe a little powerful.
But is it compared to like a casting of magic missile?
I mean, I guess it depends on the context.
Can you sacrifice a hit dice in a turn?
Mm-hmm. You would use your reaction.
But can you cast that?
You would use your reaction to do it.
reaction. Okay.
Okay, so you could,
So
as a
spend-
reaction, spend a hit dice to
hit dice.
gain
An
a
additional
spell
attack.
level, and then spend the spell slot.
If you're using it to regenerate the spell, then you
Yeah.
would not be able to till next action. 'Cause
Okay, because then that makes it a little. I guess that would make it a little bit unbalanced compared to the regular person hitting, because you're basically
I can
having to
take advantage
sacrifice
away.
in an action.
I could take advantage away and just say it's an extra attack.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because then rogues don't
I don't know. I'm
don't
certainly open
automatically.
to it.
You want to
Yeah,
think about this?
Yeah.
That was specifically my concern, was that rogues are going to automatically sneak attack twice,
Yeah.
Hmm.
or potentially
Fair.
more, right?
But if
Yeah.
you
It's
know
something we
that-
can work on.
Considering that I may be multi-classing into rogue, I actually don't expect to be using a lot of sneak attack.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Do you want to? Don't forget, Amy. There is a homebrew feat that we have that allows you to sneak attack with spells.
Oh, remind me where
Oh,
to find
neat.
that at some point.
It is one that is actually it's in the process of being polished off. But I made it for winter
Okay.
for shards so that she'd actually be able to like
Mm,
use her Eldritch
use the
Blast.
warlock. Yeah.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so
Yeah. I mean, sorry, tiny additional thing. Like thinking
Please.
on this more, I actually really do kind of want to play with this a little bit, because I think you and Chris are onto something with the idea of like trying to further economize hit dice. So I would love to do something with it.
mhm.
I guess the only
throw
worry
throw
is
some
balance.
examples at me. Throw some ideas. Like because I think the magic side of it works really well. Like it makes sense because thematically what it is you're just literally throwing your life into a spell, or you're
Mhm.
like, I have to heal you, but I'm out of slots. And you have to charge up for a round to get the spell back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We kind of did something sort of like that in Emery, sort of. Like when
Yeah,
I was able
You
to
took
cast
exhaustion. You did the exhaustion
Yeah.
thing to cast a spell.
But that's kind of what
Yeah,
I
I
see
did-
that hit dice is, right? Like hit dice.
Yeah, which I like that. I like that using the hit dice and
Mhm.
economizing them.
But how would that work for action classes? Because I wanted like a stunt mechanic.
So, what about not even potentially like using it for just like casters and non-casters? What about a base healing thing where like if you're down and you're at 0, you can spend a hit dice to roll that hit dice and gain the HP back right now in this moment. You may go down the next turn immediately, but then you're sacrificing it off of the hit dice that you would be using on this short rest.
Or
So
Maybe,
you could
but
spend
I-
your turn.
But
yeah.
I don't want to devalue any class features. And that does mean that the fighter's second wind is not as useful. All right, see, this is what Chris and I
Yeah,
were
but
butting heads against.
I'm saying if you're at 0 hit points, the fighter can't use hit point second wind at 0 hit points.
That is true. That is true.
So
Amy, then
It
Travis.
could take away from the
Yeah.
cleric, but then the cleric doesn't have to not constantly be bringing up their party members.
We don't have a cleric.
That's
Yeah,
true
it's
for this
gonna be
game.
great.
I meant in general, but like, yeah, in this game.
What if we treat it like a rally mechanic where you can get a hit in, like you spend it for a hit and then you can get back on your feet possibly if you take something down?
Alternatively, well, you know what? That's actually that gives me an idea. Hey, Dice Legend, just good to see you.
Ooh, I was gonna say you should get Vahid's opinion on this too. See what he has, because he
What-
also homebrews a ton of stuff.
So, Vahid, we're looking for hit dice mechanics to make fighters and other martials a bit better. Amy, you gave me a good idea for that. Traz, what do you have?
kind of bouncing off Rob's, but rather than say actual hit points, what if it's you spend to get temporary hit points that disappear once the battle's done, assuming you still had any left?
That
Because essentially
could.
like an adrenaline surge.
I feel, what if, so let's say that you can spend a hit dice to re-roll the failed attack. So there, no? See,
Yeah,
like that feels,
That could work for both
pretty good.
That could work for
That
both
could work,
caster
yeah.
and the action. So
Mhm.
Yeah, that could. You could a spell attack, or you could use them to re-roll their, like if it was a save for like a caster, you could use it to make the person.
The big thing is I'm looking at the bare bones basic fighter, and I am looking for a way to make them a little more. You see, yes, and Andrew Rambling Gamer right now is a feat, introduce a feat, a stunt pool of dice. And that was one of the other ideas I had as well, is that you could basically spend a hit dice to add that to a roll or to do a cool action or to use the environment in some way.
Ooh.
So you could spend hit dice to gain advantage on an attack.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This might be a little bit too vague, but if we know that we are bringing in the idea of using hit dice in the game, maybe we can say, can I spend a hit dice to try to do something? Kind of, not exactly like the offer, but like sort of pitch it. Like, would this apply, or could I spend a hit dice to do this thing? I don't.
So
And it isn't,
potentially,
like, setting it
So
in
do you
stone,
mean,
and we
do you
can
mean keeping
experiment
it
with
broad
a
and
bit.
then?
Yeah, kind of run it as like a test run to kind of see what we like, what fits.
Yeah, and
I
what's
think-
fair and balanced between.
this is going to be a little bit of a play test. Yeah. So exactly, we're caching a hit dice to do cool things. So so I think we're going to have to play around with this mechanic a little bit. But there's a heat mechanic in Delver's Guide?
Because, like, honestly, in my opinion, fighters
That
have a
sounds
bit
cool.
of a melee advantage for the fighting class versus like something like a barbarian. Because a barbarian doesn't have access to anything like second wind or action surge, which fighters do have. Barbarians get like 2 attacks and their rage. So, like, if you're talking about like trying to add to a fighting class, I think look at something like a barbarian, because fighters actually get a ton of shit, which is barbarians kind of don't. So it's
I've heard that going back to Battle Masters, the chat's saying it right now, but I've seen other things that have that as well. So there's exertion points in that. I'll have to look that up. So why don't we table this for now? And I'll spend some time looking up. So chat right now, Amberthist, Nono, Dice Legends, and Andrew. You guys are all putting out some really good ideas there. Can you please post some of those in our Discord? Oh, perfect. Thank you, Rob. You beat
I
me to
will.
it.
I'll start maybe a thread in
Yeah, because I think the
Dorktales
magic side of
games for
the
Homebrew
magic
stuff.
side of the things for the hit dice mechanics, they work great. Because a level 1 wizard has 1 hit dice, so they can upcast 1 spell, or they can regenerate 1 level 1 spell. At level 20, it gets a little beefy, but then again, you're level 20 is kind of my thought.
Yeah.
And that's, but I'm trying to find a way to balance between, and when I look at it, I balance between a rogue and a fighter. Right? So I'm looking for ways to kind of figure that out. But we'll talk more about this in the Dorktales wiki, and we'll hammer this out.
Yeah, I'm
Right,
excited
and
about this idea. This sounds really cool.
Yeah.
The kit dice feel so underutilized. So
Right? I would like to see them,
And I
because it's a dangerous mechanic to use too, because you're literally risking your life.
yeah, and I love something that gives players more choices in combat, like for just that little bit of an edge, but at a future cost. That sounds nice.
The last rule that I want to suggest to everybody: do we want to use base exhaustion mechanics or alternative exhaustion mechanics?
Can you remind
Base
me
exhaustion
What are
mechanics.
What are
alternatives?
the options? Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, there's a couple of different versions. I've heard 2 different arguments. So the base rules are the really complicated exhaustion mechanics where this does this, this does this, this does this, this does this, and then you're dead at 6th level.
Oh.
I don't like it. It's complicated and I can never remember which step is which because I'm too busy running the game. So I always have to cross-reference it. There was a new one that was proposed by, I believe, XP to level 3, which was a 10-point system where, oh no, it's what they suggested in D&D 1. That's what it was, where you take a -1 every level until level 10, and then you die at level 10. I think that 10 levels of exhaustion is a few too many. I would prefer to have that and say that you have 5 levels of exhaustion and you take a -2 to all rolls every level, because it's easier for my brain. But then you throw away a lot of the other stuff, like half speed or disadvantage on everything. because I've been pretty exhausted in my life. I didn't necessarily feel like I had a disadvantage, but I couldn't quite hit the bullseye. So I don't know. Do we want to just stick standard, or do we want to use an alternative style?
Because are you anticipating that exhaustion is going to be a pretty significantly used mechanic?
I think that it comes up in unexpected ways, but that said, I'm not leaning on it. So no. So maybe it would be better just to stick with raw.
Yeah, probably for now.
I mean, I guess if it comes up, we can always decide in the moment what feels easier. Like
That sounds good.
I'm totally fine with either of them. Although I also will never remember what different exhaustion levels do in raw.
I can do it. So let's stick with standard for now, and when it comes up, it comes up. Because I think the only time that exhaustion would really come up is drowning, because it's the islands. And starvation? Maybe? So, I just swallowed spit, so 1 second. I just inhaled spit, I should say. Okay, so that was the long-winded rules discussion. So thank you for your patience there. So, we have this fantastic basic map of Arkos that I have been building. Nobody can see it because it's white. But it is all of this.
You are here.
And all of these
Nice, I can
numbers
see
and stuff.
words. I can't see outlines of islands, but I
we
can
can't
see
see anything.
I will make a digital version of this very soon. But there is a map that kind of outlines the world. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go through and we're going to start naming some things, because I am awful with names and I want your opinion. So there are 11 major islands in Arkos that are divided into 3 leagues. Okay? These leagues, like not like distance leagues, but like the Peloponnesian League, they are alliances that kind of fight each other. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to suggest some things for them, and you're going to help me, and we're going to brainstorm a little bit of world building stuff right now. Okay? So, the Pythian League. The Pythian League is ruled primarily by Karasis, the isle that Tyria is from, which is a land of kings with labyrinthine steampunk tombs inside of it, and it's very, very industrial. The Pythian League is powerful, they are political, and they are equivalent to, I would say they're very Athenian in kind of like this mindset, but perhaps with even more of like a Roman influence. Like they're a little more stodgy, a little more like beards with braids type of guys. Okay.
Sounds good to me.
So they're the Pythian League, and there are 4 islands that I have presently. I have the following islands. Now you may help me rename these if you think the names are stupid. I have Pythia, which formerly was the head of the league, but Karasis is really the powerhouse, even though it's not named after it. Okay. I have Siopoli, and I have Pythia. Having Pythia and Pythia might be a bit too much in the same one. So why don't we
It's
scratch
like Ed, and Eddie.
Pythia?
It also feels amusingly realistic, though.
Yeah, right?
True.
Yeah.
It does.
Do you want to keep
Well,
Pythia?
I'm going to
Oh, like
Pythia.
Romulus and Remus.
Pythia and Pythia. Yeah, I kind of like that, actually.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Dumb and Dumber.
We can have an episode where we get lost. We go to the wrong
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Or-
Wait, no,
or
we're
the
supposed to
wrong
be on
shit.
Pythia. Oh, man, we're on Pythia.
So,
Hey, what's the difference in spelling? Is one of them just having
Somebody
H
has
in
a
it,
list,
otherwise
they
it's
can't
exactly
say
the
it.
same?
Yeah, what's the spelling?
So and Karasis. Okay. So what are some other things about these islands that we should know about? So they're powerful, they're political, they probably have a lot to do with so I think they're the northern islands, the ones that interact much with kind of the Ionian area of Argeny, so like the European nation.
So are they I'm thinking like Santorini for like, are they like mountainous and very dry?
I think everything is pretty mountainous and dry here, but yeah, sure. So that said, I do.
I'm
have
sorry,
a- I
because
do-
I've kind of put Testame and my island as a bit more of jungly mountain very lush and tropical kind of vibes, potentially, is what I kind of was imagining for my Centaur's place. So I was just wondering if there's a huge difference in...
So why don't, you know what, let me outline all of the leagues real quick, and then we'll divide them up.
Okay.
Next, we have the Tantalus League. The Tantalus League is for Tantalos, or Tantalus. Tantalos or Tantalus?
Tantalos, I think.
Yeah, it's more fun to
Mainly
say.
because there's a winery nearby that's called Tantalus, and
Yeah.
and I keep thinking of them.
Tantalos. There's Ylos, which is another island there. Cercia, and Tistane, which is where you're from. You want it to be fair, jungle, and rush. The Tantalos League is the militaristic, proud one. They're the Spartans if they ever were, and they're also the ones who kind of fight pirates. So they are kind of the military arm of the Arkosian Islands, okay? And finally, there's the Pathos Union, which they're not a league, they're a union, damn it. They are the merchants. They are wealthy
That
mercantiles.
sounds right.
And they are Castellos, Maliki, and Atenia. If any of those names suck, we can change them right now, but then they are permanently in the wiki.
I like them.
Other names that we have are Catapuli
Have an issue.
and
I
Durum.
want to see how some of them are spelled,
Catapulty?
Yeah,
just to make sure, because right now I can't
Yeah.
imagine them. Also, I
that.
have some generators up, and I'm just going to drop
I
a
like
couple
that.
ideas.
Sounds good. And then, so those are the
It's like the
three
Greek
from
mafia.
Tantalos.
and then could you also write the one that's above to it and catch the names for Tantalus? Oh, there we go.
I just did.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You're awesome.
So, I'm not sure I love Ylos.
It's reminding me of
The character from Hercules.
no.
I was thinking our patron Ylos.
Yeah, it's reminding
Yeah.
I thought of-
Yeah.
So I'm gonna constantly say that name wrong because I'm thinking Eolus, not
Yeah.
Eolus.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It
what I was
also
thinking
sounds a
too.
lot like Ylos in general too.
Yeah.
That is true. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why don't we
Um,
why don't we strike that one?
I named Earth.
Tantalos is making me think tantalizing. So if that is in the intent and the vibe, that's fine. But it, so I'm just
Yeah.
letting, yeah.
I could do Tantalus, but it's still going to be Tant.
It's fine. I'm just saying, like,
I know. I love it though because it's too close to like the Tartarus League, and I love it.
Oh, also I thought it was Tistame, not Tistane.
Is it
I
Tistame?
kind of like. That's what I have in my notes.
Well, then I just connected. I just put a little tick there. Now it's Tistame. All right.
Cool.
So Tantalos. All right, we're gonna go with Tantalos because I love it though. That's what I'm not shifting on Crassus, Pythia, Tantalos, Tistame, or Castella or Maliki. Maliki staying. Because then you can get a Maliki boat.
Greek mafia. Yep. All good.
You know what? The people in Maliki build boats
There we go.
because they're Maliki boats,
Maliki boats.
and it's
my
just
God.
something
I knew where
they've
that
had to
was going, and I liked
they-
it.
they've had to live with that the entire time.
Oh my god.
God, now I have
So-
that old song stuck in my head. I just spent 6 months in a leaky boat. I'm sorry, I'm old. Get over it.
Is it Ylos is the one that sounds like
We're killing E. Ellis.
Okay, so I have a couple suggestions. I don't know if any of these ones are jumping out at anyone, but there's
Yeah.
Ithila, Larilos, what is that? I'd probably get rid of one of those H's, don't I?
Apophos?
Yeah, I would probably get rid of that first H and do it Apophos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hold on
Look
one
at
sec.
what you
I am sending the short list. I have too many post-it notes full of these. And I'm sending.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Kelly and I went one day and just like went ham on names.
Stavros.
Oh,
He was
I
like,
get-
"Do you
I
want to
get
build
it.
some names?" I'm like,
That's
"Yep."
way too like.
How about the island of Stamos?
Fine.
Oh my gosh.
Of St-
They all have very good hair.
Is that
And sing
over
Beach
by the
Boys
Isles
songs.
of Basir?
Over by the Isles of
Oh my-
Mystere. I'm putting Stamos on the list of names. So do any of those jump out at you? So right now we've got PSPCTCTAMK. So we've got nothing with any G's or N's. We've got nothing with any
Oh,
L's.
I kind of like visors.
Like Zakrim.
Zakrin.
Yeah.
All right. Zakirna.
Or Giona.
Gorgas.
Gratia. Isn't this
Gratia.
close to Pythia? That's close to Pythia.
Pythia. Gratia,
All I can think of is
Pythia.
Saganaki, the cheese that's on fire. And it's awesome. And I love it.
See, and
I like it.
Amy,
I like
I'm hungry.
Nikamas.
I might be hungry.
which so Amy, looking there, you've got Larleos, Demosia, Astapolis. So let's think this. What I want you to do is when you think of this is going in the Tantalos League. So this is a very like fighty type of people. Like these are warriors. So, like, what was one? Robin, you just said one a minute ago.
Oh god, Nikamas.
Nikamas could work. There's also Herkyrian. Herkyrios. So it's got
That's
that
pretty
Herc in it.
solid.
It's pretty good. What
Yeah.
about Myrtigos, like martyr kind of?
Martigos.
We're going for fighting. Oh, I forgot to put an R in there. I just
So,
Yeah, Martigos is nice.
Yeah, Martigos
Or-
is pretty good.
or Martiga.
I kind of like the ghosts.
Yeah, kind
Ghosts?
of goes.
It almost sounds like martyr ghosts.
Because then there'd be two OSs
Cute.
and then two like Tistame and Sisia. So there'd be like.
Do we
two
want to go with
As, and then
Martigos?
Martigos?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I like that one.
spelling to be
Yeah.
determined because I just threw it.
Okay. I will fix that. That was the most enjoyable part of the thing. So, as we're going through these, what are these islands known for? I spent way too much time researching what foods come from these regions, what grows in mountainous regions. So, prepare yourselves for a diet of olives, grapes, grape leaves, wine, of course, squid, mullet, sea bass, octopus, tuna, grouper, stonefish, red mullet, swordfish, legumes and lentils, figs, dates, plums, lemons, limes, apples, pears, melons of various varieties. Your spices are going to be cumin, coriander, garlic, oregano, bay, fennel, cinnamon, saffron. You'll be able to eat wheat, goat milk, cheese, and lamb as well. Brandy comes from this region, as do carrots, onions, peppers, peas, tomatoes, pasta, eggs, raisins, seabirds, of course, wild boar, meatballs made of various meats, cucumber, spinach, lettuce, okra, and various nuts and honey. And rice is imported. That is just all the stuff that grows. I was just like, what can grow in a mountainous climate on an island? And I went down a rabbit hole for like a week.
That's fantastic. I'm hungry. I haven't had.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat after this stream.
Yep.
And kefir and kombucha, of course. Of course.
Oh, yes. Can't wait. My kefir maker's coming.
So, going through these, do we want to define these more, or do we leave them kind of ambiguous?
I think that's an in the moment kind of
Okay.
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
I think that's more of like an improv. Let's see what we get there.
Okay, so
Maybe
Robin-
somewhere in between where we're sort of like expanding a bit more on the leagues themselves, but we leave the individual islands pretty open.
Mhm. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That works for me. I don't
Just so
mind.
that we can go into the game with some opinions about different people's, like, you know, what league
Foods.
they're from and stuff and what they like to eat. You and your olives.
Okay, so basically what I have are controllers. So what I have right now is I have the Pythian League, which are powerful, political, sleazy controllers. They're
Okay.
kings, right? They're the islands of kings. And the Tantalos League, which are kind of the rebellious, militaristic fighters. Who there's that constant tension between the warriors and the people and the politicians, basically, right? And then you have the Pathos Union that is just the worst because they're playing both sides. If Tony Stark was an island chain,
Stark Islands.
So, and they are the richest of them because they have. Also, the Pathos Union is the rest of the leagues are kind of bunched. On my map, I have it listed that the Pathos Union, Pathos is like there's one island in the north, two in the south corners, and then the other leagues are kind of like in between them. So they've got this kind of weird trade network. It's very interesting for me, at least, because all the others are pretty proximally fairly close. So the Tantalus League is more in the east, or probably more in the west. The Pythian League is more in the west, and the Pathos is kind of like all around.
Yeah, which means that they're sort of like a neutral port all over the place should something happen.
Exactly.
I mean,
right?
neutral.
Right.
But for the right price, neutral. Yeah.
Who's
now,
paying me more? Neutral.
Yeah.
So King Manos. King Manos is not from Karasis because Karasis I have plans for. So I guess he is either a king of the Pathos Union, who is summoning you, meaning that he is on the island of Castellos because it's a good name, or he is on the island of Pythia. I am not certain. I am going to have to do this. I'm going to have to think about this.
Because is Pythia like the old capital?
It's the old capital.
Before Karasis like industrialized?
Yeah.
Then maybe that could be the spot to start in like older constructed castles. Like I know for Karasis, I was very much considering it something that had like really rapidly industrialized. And I imagine that would sort of spread to the rest of the league, but probably not immediately. So you'd have this like really interesting like sort of tension between, you know, the weird steam powered mechanotram or whatever the heck nonsense we decide actually exists in this world, and the traditional architecture of the old capital. It could be a fun mix. And
this is kind of like this game is kind of set. I don't want to give you exact time frames because I like to keep my time frame fluid. This is post shards, pre-rain. Okay. So if you follow the timeline, it's not Renaissance, it's not steampunk, magipunk yet, but there might be some influences.
Yeah. So like the first Avatar series, not the second Avatar series, where there's like a little bit of steampunky stuff coming out of the Fire Nation, and that's about it.
Basically, and the Fire Nation is Emery's.
Yeah.
So lots of pirates. And yes, King Manos is just such a good name. Lava Telos Manos! The Hands of Fate. All right. So, that said, there's tons of ways that you can get money, you can get food, that you can make a living. Does anybody have any questions as we are here? Is there any other world building thing that you guys want to touch on?
Not right now. I think this is a good amount of info to dump in my head.
Right. I don't want to dump too much, and that's one of the reasons why I like impromptu world building, where we go, okay, if you're with the Pathos League or the Pathos Union, you're probably money oriented. It's like saying if you're from the US, you probably talk openly about like how much stuff costs. Where other countries you might not. You know? Whereas if you are from, I don't know, if you're from Europe, what's a good European stereotype that kind of holds true? You put your home life before your work life, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, in a country, we're not going to get into that. But Canadians like hockey. There's a stereotype.
Yeah. So Kelly, quick question actually with my character build. I forgot. So as a ranger, I get favored enemy. So the choices are aberrations, beasts, celestials, constructs, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, giants, monstrosities, oozes, plants, or undead.
Fae.
Cat.
Fae.
Cat.
There's satyrs running everywhere. There's always a satyr trying to sleep with you. You might as well have a favorite enemy.
Cat. Sounds great.
Oh, if anybody wants to bang a god, let me know.
a favorite specific satyr that is your ex kind of thing? Like, is
Yeah.
that what we're going
Oh
with?
my goodness.
Yeah, her
This getting
name
real
is Hera.
personal. Hmm.
Heratagos. Heratagoat. Heratagoat.
And then I was debating terrain, because I also get the favorite terrain of Arctic coast, desert, forest, grassland, mountain, swamp, or underdark. I went with mountain, unless you think there's a better option of that.
Mountain or coast.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those two probably.
Okay, cool.
Mountain. I think that, I mean, this is the thing. I think that on the Greek Isles, on the Arkosian Isles, I think it's pretty easy to say that mountain is coast and coast is mountain. Because it's literally just like, are you on the sand or the rock?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay,
So
cool.
probably mountain.
Yeah, because then it gives me it helps me with difficult terrain.
Yeah.
That's my horse, so that's good. Cool. Now I just wanted to confirm, because I was like, oh yeah, I was like looking at my character sheet. I'm like, oh right, yeah, I did choose these, but I wanted just wanted to confirm.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions about character creation? Robin, you and I will work together to figure out a better boost for centaurs. I'd be fine even if it was just a proficiency boost.
Okay.
So like
I
merge.
realized earlier and totally failed to correct something. So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Please, but we'll work on that in a bit.
Yeah. But I guess playing an artificer, which I completely and absolutely did not mention at all when describing Tyria earlier.
Okay.
I guess like I feel like tech level comes into the description and ideas for that as well. Sort of for like, you know, if she has like a little bird homunculus, how that's going to look mechanically. Same with the steel defender as the battlesmith type of artificer, right? It's like what they look like. If that's like a normal thing that people are going to be reacting to regularly, or if that's something that might get like really negative reactions or be seen as super strange. I guess like how common is any of that sort of stuff going to be across the world, do we think?
Not super common, but think of what happened when you saw people riding on hoverboards 5 years ago.
Right, okay.
Like,
so it's about to go, and then, yeah.
Like, the future is coming, old man, type of vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
But, like, think smartphones in, like, 2010, 2011. Like, where people suddenly started having these things, and you're like, what? But mine still goes the flippy.
So millennials
Flippy.
versus Gen Xers, or is this millennials versus boomers?
It's always millennials versus boomers. They are our favorite
Yeah,
enemy.
because Gen X just wants to be left out of it.
Because we are their favorite enemy, and we're fighting back. Damn it. So yeah, like I think that the tech level is enough that they're like, oh, are you one of them Karasis people? You know,
Cow noises.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good.
All right. So yeah, I think that it'll still be kind of like an, oh, how strange. But it won't be like, hey guys, what is this thing?
Yeah, that was definitely the thing to figure out, because otherwise I'd want to probably find ways to like hide weird mechanical things on being a large cow person. So
Yeah. So you're going with Battlesmith, right? You don't want the mechanical arm? Nice. All right, cool.
I love having like a little homunculus and like a little, like, I don't know, dog or something. That
We're gonna have friends, because
yeah,
I
we're
get.
gonna have pets.
Oh no.
Because I have my stim
Really?
fey companion, which is a bird. So we're gonna have mechanical friends.
I'm here for this.
Combine
love
them,
this so
make
much.
a winged dog.
So ultimate question though is like, when do our little pets inevitably get married? Do we have a wedding episode for them?
Just like I said, just
Wedding
slam them
episode.
together.
No.
Just switch.
Just
Big
get,
bird.
that's how they get married.
Oh my god.
Okay, so all right, so a big shout out as well. So I think we're probably good. Let's do a shout out to our artist Velloria. Thank you, Velloria, for doing all of the character art for this game. And thank you,
Yes,
Michael, for
amazing.
doing our graphics guy for doing the template for this that I kind of riffed off of.
Thanks,
So
Mike.
Mike doing all
over
the back work on this.
Thank you for all your design work.
And for the opening credit sequence there.
Like that.
let's see. What else do we need to talk about? Any last things anybody want to bring up?
Not that I can think of at this point.
I'm trying
be
to
using
decide
roll
if I'm starting
20.
off as a rogue or starting off as a sorcerer.
Let me know so I can fix your overlay.
Okay. I will make some choices today.
Do it. Do it now, says the cow.
I do. Do
you
it
do it.
now.
Do it now. Okay, so as usual, this is going to be a typical Dorktales game, which means that we're gonna have a lot of fun, and I'm expecting this game to run probably a dozen episodes, maybe more, at least a dozen, and we're all gonna wear lightweight clothing because we're starting in July, so.
Yeah, I'm wearing like a shawl thing and then like a tank top and shorts already.
Right?
Yeah, I have a very light tank top and then a very light scarf for my shawl kind of toga thing, which gosh, that took so long to I started
Really?
ordering the
Oh,
product in January and just so
How long
many
did it
things
take you to
didn't work. Just I used like 3 different sites. Nothing was delivered. Finally Temu worked.
Thank goodness, right?
That said, we are going to be doing, as always, this has a deep lore dive in it. And I guess the last thing is that I am not going to be left out, so you are going to have a tag-along NPC PC that's going to be joining you for the first part at least, who will be a slightly roguish bent if Amy does not go rogue. So if Amy does not go rogue immediately, we'll probably be a rogue. If not, we'll be something else. I don't care, Amy. So don't base your decision off of me.
Have you considered bards?
She can be a
Not for
bard.
this game. At least not
Oh
me.
no, not for you. I mean for this NPC.
I could consider
be
a
fun.
bard. Yeah. But we can discuss that a bit more later. Tyria, Mystredo, Deianera. The last thing that I wanted to touch on is, does anybody care about... so some of you are going to be facing a little bit of... it's largely human and... some elves, but largely human, dwarf, and halflings around here. So Mystredo, for example, we talked about how the Medusa are slightly lepers. Okay, so there may be a little bit of lineage or racial-based tension. But I just want to say that in
totally cool with
advance.
that. Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to keep it akin to like X-Men comics.
Okay.
Or the X-Men
Sounds
cartoon,
good.
I guess.
Mutant.
I mean, I feel like setting established wise too, I imagine it'd be pretty similar for Minotaurs in Carassus who aren't currently guarding a labyrinth. So
Yeah, you're a working class, right?
yeah.
Yep. And Forn doesn't have half a face.
Nope.
Yeah.
And he's missing a leg.
Gone. Since the incident where you put the mask on and decided it was cool.
He's the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah.
All right. So, folks, this is going to be a fantastic game. We're going to start on July 2nd. And I really am looking forward to this. It's taken a long time to get this one off the ground, just because of
it'll
life
be
things.
A Canada weekend for us.
Canada Day weekend. It's going to be busy. It's going to be very busy.
Gonna be good.
So, first game is going to be on July 2nd, then it's going to be on July 9th, and then we will go to bi-weekly after that, coming in at, I guess, the 23rd of July, and we'll run bi-weekly until we stop. There may be a couple of mix-ups in the schedule happening, depending on, I might have to go to a convention, Robin has a family thing in August, but we're just going to play it by ear. We'll give you plenty of notice. So if you are ever wondering, you can always find out more by following us on social media or going to our Discord. The Discord is the best place to learn if something changes, because we're all on it and we all keep pretty tight rein on what's going on there. Cool. Any last things before we call it?
No.
All right. So, folks, thank you so much
hi.
to Bookworm Games for sponsoring us today. So thank you very much, and thank you to Catchy Cantrips for the raid. Hey guys, we're just wrapping up, so stick around and we will raid it forward. So a big thank you to Bookworm Games for sponsoring us. Check out questchest.info for more info about their upcoming Kickstarter. A big thank you to all of you who joined us for this session 0, and I hope you come back on July 2nd for the first game of Dreams of Arkos, and maybe you'll find out what the title means, because I always try to make it ambiguous. It is going to be a lot of fun. If you want to join us tonight, if you are one of our VIPs or higher over on our Patreon, Robin is running the first episode of Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, Panic at the Citadel, which is going to be fantastic. That starts at 6 p.m. Pacific tonight. So you definitely want to tune in there. It will be released publicly in about 3 months. So hopefully that will be a good time for you. A big thank you to everybody who supports us over on Patreon, starting with my mom. Thanks, Mom, for supporting and being a divine patron, even though you don't know what that means. I appreciate it. And thanks, Stepdad Bob. Thank you to Precarious, our demonic patron, to Tammy the Forever Cleric, and to the Ink Goblin for being our wizards of the Patreon, bringing that magic touch, and to our High Council of the Patreon, Taryn, the Traveler Buddy, Trazelta, hey Traz, Amberthist, who brought some great ideas today, Cubby Gummy, Raven with Baubles, who's always a delight, Karasha Urquhart, Drew Thompson, Sergio, Chef Aladeth, Larouk, Sorcerer Sanguine, and Mike Baxter. You're all amazing people, and you support everything we do, and that is great. And I love you for that. So thank you so much. And join our Discord if you're not already on it, or join the Patreon if you feel like it. But folks, we'll be back tonight with our Patreon game, and we'll be back tomorrow night with the live broadcast of our summer special of Strixhaven. That would be a giant problem. And that is the one that has a bunch of fantastic people. I believe from Tabletop Titties are in that one. And it's a fantastic cast. So you definitely want to tune in for that episode. That's tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific on Twitch, and very soon on YouTube. And then, of course, we're back this week on Tuesday with the Shards of Nirn and Dragonlance on Wednesday. It is a busy week. So, with that, we'll see you next time. Safe sails, everybody. Bye.
Take care, y'all.